didn't have to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne.
Hello YouTube. Thought I'd do a video for the weekend. This is a Friday night, but you know, I told you I'd do some on the weekend sometimes, so I'm going to do one about handicapped people, do a few stories about that. But before I do, if you're new, subscribe, you know, hit that like, share, and comment. You know, I try to answer all the comments. You know, sometimes it may take me a little bit, but I'll get to you. Okay, let's go. Like some camps have a lot of people with wheelchairs, and like Bowling Green, it was a lot of people in wheelchairs. You know, it was called like the wheelchair camp, and they always got to go to the canteen first and different things first. You know, but and if you're, you know, if you're in a line or something, they say, "Hey, can I get in front of you? I'm in a wheelchair." Yeah, you're also sitting down. I'm standing. No, you're not using your wheelchair thing to get ahead of, you know, cut in line. But I got this one story from Potosi, and there was this guy that he had a pusher. You know, pushers are paid to push people around in a wheelchair, and that's usually their salaries. But his pusher left him out there on the yard, you know, and so I was walking by, and he said, "Hey man, can you push me?" Now, this guy had no legs, you know, and it happened during his crime, and but anyway, it was kind of messed up story, actually, you know, with the police. You know, it comes down, the police is the reason he didn't have no legs. But anyway, so I'm pushing him around, and they have this real nice track at Potosi. I mean, they keep it nice, you know. So he said, "Hey, can you push me real fast?" And so I started pushing him faster, and he's going, wee, you know, all this crazy stuff. And he goes, as we came around, he goes, "Hey, can you push me out to the softball field?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Go straight through here." I'm still going kind of fast, and we didn't realize there was like a real steep ditch, you know, right at the edge of the track. And so I hit that, and he was airborne. It was like Superman with no legs. I mean, he had his arms out like this, you know, and he just flew. And I almost flipped over into the seat. I mean, that's how fast I was pushing him. But he wanted me to push him that fast. But I was like, "Oh man." I said, "Are you okay?" And he's kind of walking around on his front legs, you know, pulling himself. He was laughing about it. He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." He says, "That was my fault." He said, "Just get me back in there, you know, in the chair." And so I picked him up, and I pushed him on over to the softball field, and then went and done whatever I was doing, you know, working out and hanging out with people I knew, you know. But when I first got to prison, there was this thing with, and it was all black people that did this, and kind of older or mid-age. It was like cool for them to try to get a cane. So they go, I don't know what the purpose was or not, or anything, if it had any meaning behind it, but I don't know. But they all got these, many got canes, and they'd go to medical and say they had hip problems, leg problems, whatever. Anything that you do, get a cane. Some of them got a cane, some of them didn't. But they'd walk around with this cane, and you'd see them limping along, you know, with this cane. But then if something happened where they had to run or something, they'd take off running with the cane in their hand. And so they really didn't need the cane, you know. But if they got caught like running or something, you know, and they realized, you know, staff realized they didn't need a cane, well, they would put them in the hole, you know. But that was just like a trend or something, and it kind of went out of style, you know, after a while, you know. But you had people on walkers and stuff, and I remember one guy coming up to me, and he was one of the ones that was wanting to cut in the line, you know. And this wasn't at Bowling Green, this was at another camp. So they just got in line with everybody else, and he was trying to, hey, I'm in a wheelchair, can I get in front of you? No. I said, you know, as a matter of fact, what are you in prison for? And I said, you're in a wheelchair, you're older, you know, and I'm just wondering what kind of crime you committed. And his pusher was there, and he said, man, don't do this to him, you know. I said, well, what kind of case he got? That's all I'm wanting to know. Well, come to find out, he didn't have one of those messed up cases, you know. But and I kind of apologized to him for assuming that. But I told him, you know, you see somebody in a wheelchair, you always wonder, what did they do, you know? But like the guy with this guy got shot while messing with the police, and so he had his legs, but he'd got shot by the police, you know. And he pretty much said that, you know, it was his own fault, you know. He said I shot once at them, and they opened up on me. And but it taught me that I just can't assume that because they're in a wheelchair and they look a certain way that they got one of those cases, you know. But in many cases they do, you know. And like I said, you know, I've told you guys before, I really have a problem with that, you know, with people with those cases, you know, picking on, you know, abusing people who can't defend themselves, you know, on little children and stuff, you know. That just doesn't sit right with me, you know. They should get the max sentence. That's my opinion. But some people get paralyzed in prison too, or get put in a wheelchair temporarily. You know, they may have broken a leg or something and be in a wheelchair, you know. I know one guy broke his ankle playing basketball, and he was in a wheelchair, but he milked that. I mean, he rode that out as long as he could, you know. Yeah, because he didn't want to work or anything. In Missouri, you have to have a job in prison. I don't know how it is in other states, but in Missouri, you have to have a job. So a lot of people will, and if you got to do 90 days in food service when you first get to prison. It's mandatory, at least in the high level prisons. So a lot of people will try to get a medical lay-in or something like that, but he actually broke his foot playing basketball, and so he just tried to milk it out as long as he could. But I've seen people do crazy things to get a medical lay-in to get out of food service, you know. They'll take something and hit it against their leg or their ankle or something, and just try to hurt themselves, you know, try to make their ankle swell up, you know, and then go to medical and try to get a medical lay-in. And usually the lay-in is only for like a couple days, couple days, and then they try to, you know, they have to do something else, you know, get a medical lay-in. Or, you know, some people say I'm sick, you know, try to get a few more days, and they try to get out of doing the full 90 days, you know. And because, you know, in the food service you work 90 days. You work 5 days and you're 2 days off. Well, if I remember correctly, the 2 days off count too as the 90 days. So, you know, but it's funny seeing the things people do get out of food service, you know. There's others that love food service, you know. I just did my 90 days and got a job in recreation, you know. And that was it. Well, that's about all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for your time. And there'll be a new video out Monday. Bye.